Hey y'all, quick chat with Coach Max before the video gets going. This is the second part to a 3-part series on the legendary birds. If you haven't watched the first video focusing on a solo playthrough with Articuno, you should watch that first. Go ahead, I'll wait. So will everyone else. We aren't going to start until you watch the other one. We've got snacks. We can wait for a while. Okay, so let's talk about Zapdos. It is my personal favorite of the legendary birds. I really like electric-type Pokemon, and it's the logo for Team Instinct in Pokemon Go, which is by far the best team. Everyone in Mystic and Valor are all tryhards anyways. Zapdos was the one I was looking forward to the most out of these 3 birds. Articuno was fun, anything that can use Ice Beam in Gen 1 is always a good one, but I was really hoping Zapdos would be the best of these runs. Moltres, I don't really care about it in all honesty. Here's hoping that one's not too miserable at the very least. Zapdos has the highest speed out of all the birds, and the lowest defense, but we're in Gen 1. Speed is king. The ability to have a higher crit chance is going to be a game changer for Zapdos. On screen is a comparison of every bird's stats, just so you can see them. And having a low stat of 85 in defense isn't really that bad if that's the lowest stat you've got. The typing that Zapdos is has some perks. Flying is resistant to bug, grass, and fighting, and immune to ground. Electric is only weak to ground, so the flying cancels that out. Rock and ice are the only things that can really affect Zapdos negatively. Electric is cancelled out and just neutral. Steel is also resisted by Zapdos, but this is Gen 1, so that doesn't affect anything here. And Zapdos' moves are pretty cool. It starts with Thundershock and Drill Peck. Thundershock is a good early game stab move, pretty basic, but starting with Drill Peck is the real treat. It's the strongest flying type move in yellow aside from Sky Attack, but that one requires a charge turn. So starting with Drill Peck is gonna be a big game changer. The TM moves are the same as Articuno, but swap out the ice moves for electric moves. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, Mimic and Thunderbolt were the only 2 TMs I used, and they were the only ones I needed. I didn't even go for Fly since Drill Peck has 10 more base power than it without the extra turn. Just like in the Articuno video, I let my wife name Zapdos. She went with Toasty, because her first nickname was Zaptoast. She really is the love of my life. And the name I came up with for the rival was Poop. Just like with Articuno, Eevee just can't stand up to a big ol' bird. There's not much to say. Drill Peck is a very strong move. And again, in the optional rival battle, Spearow was smoked by Thundershock. That speed stat is already causing crits, and Eevee just can't stand up to a big ol' bird. That's literally the exact same sentence I typed earlier. Now, Brock was going to be interesting. I knew Thundershock would be ineffective, but Drill Peck could make things interesting since it was such a strong move, and I'd get a stab boost out of it to boot. Geodude and Onix both resist flying type moves though. Geodude didn't take a lot of damage from Drill Peck, but Zapdos was able to whittle it down and keep a little less than half health when it went down. Onix resisted Drill Peck pretty well. Bind and Screech were deadly in this battle. And unfortunately, I just wasn't able to defeat Onix. I knew it would be a long shot and very dependent on luck, but this first time just wasn't meant to be. But I also started the battle without full health. Only 4 less than max, but spoilers, that made the difference in the second battle. And getting a critical Drill Peck on Geodude let me take it down quicker without taking too much damage also. Onix helped me out by making the worst possible move choices. It used 2 Screeches, so even though I lost defense, I took no damage. There was a tackle thrown in, and it did hit really hard with the defense drop, but that was the only move that Onix landed after the Screeches. It did use Bide, and I wasn't sure if I could take it out with Drill Peck before it landed Bide, so I just used Thundershock, letting me cause it to burn through Bide. I know I'm a mythical bird, but still. I had a type of disadvantage on all fronts, and I was very happy to get this win. On the complete flip side situation, I had a beautiful type advantage against Misty. Thundershock is not a strong move, even with it being stab, but Staryu was taken down in 2 moves. because I accidentally used Drill Peck at first. And Starmie did take a few Thunder Shocks, but Starmie is a really good Pokemon. It has great stats. Oh, hey, look at that. Another video you should watch at some point. I won't make you wait this time, we'll keep going for today. And since I battled the Nugget Bridge rival after battling Misty instead of before like I normally do, he was even less of an issue than at the beginning of the game. Sandshrew took 2 Drill Pecks. That's like the only downfall of the battle, and that's hardly a downfall. On the boat, Poop stunk. The only difference here is that his team had a little bit of a level jump from Nugget Bridge, and they barely had a level jump. It really wasn't that impressive. Now Surge, on the other hand, despite having bad AI and electricity being neutral against Zapdos, I was a little worried. I was afraid Raichu might overpower me, and I realized that Drill Peck is not very effective against Raichu, but I was able to get the job done. I had one lucky crit that really could have been the break point in the battle. Getting out of this gym without a reset was very fortunate. But then, I had to reset against a random trainer. The one with a Butterfree outside of Vermilion City, because I forgot to walk in the grass and avoid him. I also forgot to heal after the Surge battle. And I lost to a Butterfree. I never thought Onix and Butterfree would be known for killing Zapdos, but here we are. Something that I don't bring up all the time is that the battle with the Lass on Route 9 can destroy you with Stun Spore and Wrap on all of her Pokemon. But Zapdos has Drill Peck and ludicrous speed, so no danger here. And here's something I've never mentioned in a video. In the Rock Tunnel, there's 2 trainers with Slowpokes. If you don't have grass or electric moves, they can be a pain to get past. Not super dangerous, just obnoxious. But since Zapdos has Thunderbolt now, we're good. And I was worried about the exploding hiker. And unfortunately, it took 2 attempts to get past him. The first time I couldn't inflict damage fast enough to outdo explosion damage. The second time, the hiker just chose really poor moves. His Graveler did self-destruct at the end of the battle, but I had enough health to take the explosion. I was really worried I would be stuck on this battle for longer than I should, so one reset really isn't too bad. Erica was really easy. Tangela has higher defense, so it took a Drill Peck, but it missed its attack. And Weepinbell and Gloom were just miserably weak. 1 shot on each. No critical hits. No problem at all. Similar to the hiker battle, Giovanni had me a little concerned. Onix and Rhyhorn, both a troublesome typing for Zapdos. Drill Peck was all I could do, but fortunately it was enough to take them both down. And I was able to use Thunderbolt on his Persian, so once I pushed through the rocks, I was in the clear. Here's where Zapdos and Articuno really start to separate from each other. In the Articuno video, I wasn't able to overpower Koga and his Venonats and Venomoth. Zapdos did have a 10 base power advantage in its moveset, and a 5 base attack stat advantage, so Zapdos was gonna be physically stronger no matter what. And it was able to get the win first try. That tiny little boost was incredibly effective. A crit on 2 Venonats, and Koga wasting a turn with an item on Venomoth, and I was able to get the win. Very nice. With this confidence instilled in me, I thought I'd take down the rival in Silphco. Poop was toast. Sandslash was able to hit with Slash, and of course it crit, but then it missed Sand Attack, so the best thing ever. Ninetales took 2 hits and landed a Tail Whip, which would be bad, but it boosted my attack stat because of the badge boost glitch, so Drill Peck was even stronger. And Cloyster. Finally a run where Cloyster isn't difficult. Thunderbolt was magical, and Kadabra has paper-thin defense, so Drill Peck crushed it. And Jolteon could have been bad, because it kept using Sand Attack, but it only used Sand Attack. Here's the moves that it has on screen. Double Kick and Pin Missile would be not very effective, and I guess Thunder Shock, since it's neutral damage, because of weird Gen 1 mechanics, Sand Attack was all it used, and I was able to get the win first try. And the biblical name given to Lapras in this video was Elijah. I'm pretty sure I've used that one before, still a good name. Now you might have noticed that I haven't mentioned Jesse and James any in this video. I am the biggest supporter of them showing up, but they literally just did nothing in this run against Zapdos. I so wish they could have had a bigger role in the game. The Giovanni battle worried me just like the last one, because now he had Nidoqueen with his Rhyhorn, but Thunderbolt took care of Nidorino and Persian with no issue at all. Drill Peck was barely doing anything on Rhyhorn, just like last battle, but Giovanni used an item, missed a Tail Whip, and then I got to take advantage of the badge boost glitch from a Tail Whip that did land, so Drill Peck was hitting harder. And all Nidoqueen did was use Scratch, because its moveset didn't really support it against Zapdos. Zapdos is doing so well in terms of speed and resets in this run. Sabrina's team has miserable defense, and I have a really good Pede. Okay, in my script it says Pede, it's supposed to be speed. Sabrina's team has miserable defense, and I have a really good speed stat, so Sabrina was no problem, is what I wish I could say. Abra was no big deal. Ever. But Kadabra was kind of a wild card. It was still faster than me because of the level difference alone, so Kadabra could inflict damage or lower accuracy, almost guaranteed every time. And Alakazam just hit really, really hard. So after failing once, I leveled up against the other trainers in the gym to even things up. I tried mimicking Recover the next battle so that I could heal up, but I didn't have any opportunities to heal up without having all of that health ripped away. So I headed over to the fighting dojo, and boy did those brawny boys have no chance against Zapdos. I got a few more levels, and then tried Sabrina again. Abra still caused no issue, and I was actually faster than Kadabra, and it went down in just one hit. Alakazam was still faster as expected, and it used Reflect, so Drill Peck wasn't going to hit as hard as it should. So I used Mimic and grabbed Psychic from Alakazam. The main reason for this was to try and proc the special drop on Alakazam from Psychic. I'm going to be real with you. I shouldn't have won this battle, but I did. Alakazam has that good speed stat too, so it easily could have passed by the special drop. But it didn't, and I was very fortunate. And then, of all trainers against Zapdos, Blaine forced a reset. Thunderbolt was great, and it paralyzed Ninetales, so I only took a small bit of damage against it, and then Rapidash went down in 2 hits, only landing 1 stomp. Oh my goodness. I even tried mimicking Reflect from Arcanine, but it's a fast little puppy, so it completely bypassed the Reflect, and 1 critical takedown annihilated Zapdos. Next time, I mimicked Confuse Ray early in the battle. Confuse Ray has a 100% accuracy, so it was a nice guaranteed confusion on his team. And this time I got a win. Not really much to say about it. The final Giovanni battle didn't worry me nearly as much as the others, which is really kind of ironic. Other than Persian, his whole team is ground. Even though I have to use Drill Peck, no big deal, because electric moves won't hurt as bad. And I grabbed Earthquake from Dugtrio. It did use Sand Attack before going down, sadly, but it did still go down. And the rest of the battle, it was basically just use Earthquake over and over until the battle ended. And the battle did end. It just ended with Rhydon using Rock Slide. I forgot that rock moves were one of the moves that could really hurt Zapdos. In the next attempt though, Nidoqueen and Nidoking helped me out so badly. I missed a lot of moves from Sand Attack from Dugtrio, and they used Leer and Tail Whip, over and over, so the badge boost glitch boosted my attack by a lot. As long as I didn't get touched, the battle was going to be over quickly. Rhydon didn't go down in 1 hit, but its Rock Slide attack missed. Only 7 resets, and an hour and a half into this run. Zapdos is doing pretty hot. The last rival battle saw me get swamped by another typing that I forgot I would be weak to. Sandslash wasn't super easy to beat, but Ninetales and Execute were no problem. And Cloyster should have been thrashed by just 1 Thunderbolt, but I just had to be different and mimic Withdraw to proc the badge boost glitch. So Cloyster nuked me with Aurora Beam. Next time, 2 crits kept Sandslash from doing anything against me. So full health up to Ninetales, because Execute also did nothing. I then mimicked Ember on accident against Ninetales, and I got burned, cutting my physical attack. This was less than ideal. I did go straight for Thunderbolt against Cloyster, no chance of it using an ice move. And Kadabra survived a Thunderbolt, but it used Reflect, so there was no damage taken here either. And Jolteon just kept using Agility. That's literally the only move it used because of Gen 1 AI. A few Thunderbolts, and it was done. Seriously didn't think Cloyster would be the one to take me down here. Now, for the Elite Four. I've done so many runs recently where Lorelei has been miserable. And y'all, with her Ice-type advantage over Zapdos, even that wasn't enough for her to win. This was such a breath of fresh air. Jinx was literally the only one that didn't die to one Thunderbolt, and it did hit a critical Ice Punch, so I could have easily been wrecked. But Zapdos held on with 5 HP. Then it landed a critical Thunderbolt on Lapras. I genuinely don't know if this made the battle winnable, but I don't care. One attempt and Lorelei was done. Now Bruno was not a big deal either, and very easily could have been. Luckily, his first Onix had Dig, and Dig was a strong, effective move against this and the other Onix. And then the rest of his team is weak to Drill Peck. Hitmonchan did have Ice Punch, and both of the Onixes had Rock Slide. Zapdos was taken down to red health. And, just like Lorelei, I got a crit on the final Pokemon. Was this luck? I have no clue. Again, I don't care. Let's roll. Mimic kept paying dividends in the Agatha fight. I grabbed Substitute, and the good thing about her team here is that they never really do enough damage to break the Substitute in just one move. So I was able to take full advantage of it. I just kept using Thunderbolt the entire battle, until I replaced Thundershock with Thunder halfway through the battle, and this showed how strong Gengar was. It took 2 Thunders and a Drill Peck to take the final one down. But I did it. Are we going to sweep through the entire Elite Four with just Zapdos? I'm going to go ahead and tell you, yes, we do sweep the Elite Four. And not the rival though, unfortunately. Let's take a look at Lance first. Obviously Thunderbolt cooked Gyarados. It wasn't even close to fair. And the first Dragonair wasn't much trouble. Even though it took 2 Thunderbolts and it landed a Slam, it wasn't much trouble. The second one let me mimic Ice Beam, but naturally it went for Ice Beam, and that hurt pretty badly. But one Ice Beam knocked it out, and it's a good thing that Aerodactyl doesn't have Rock Slide, because Aerodactyl was faster than Zapdos and hit with Hyper Beam. Thunderbolt fortunately took it down in one go, and the mimicked Ice Beam decimated the Dragonite. So yeah, Zapdos was able to sweep through the entire Elite Four at a low level 50. No matter how the champion battle goes, this is a good grade or 2 better than Articuno. And Articuno wasn't even really that bad. That just shows how good Zapdos is. But, the rival battle. I got knocked out by Sandslash on the first attempt. Now, normally you'd think, oh yeah, ground versus electric, of course. But don't forget I'm part flying. Sandslash just stacks up well against it. Earthquake is the strongest move you can mimic that it has, but it's not very strong used against it. And Drill Peck doesn't do much either. Also, Fury Swipes likes to land all 5 hits every time, and Slash has such a high crit chance. This was just not a fun battle. Instead of mimicking Earthquake on attempt number 2, I went straight for Drill Peck. And this time I only lost a little bit of health. I was able to grab a Recover from Alakazam also, but it landed Kinesis twice. And as you know, if you are hit by even one accuracy dropping move, you are toast. And Zapdos was toast. Alakazam had Recover for itself, and when I actually landed a strong attack, it had a full restore used on it. This was just a miserable experience from start to finish in this battle. Sandslash hit harder the next battle, but I reached Alakazam again, and Psybeam confused Zapdos. Nice. You can figure out how this one went. Before the next battle, I used 2 rare candies to jump to level 54, and Sandslash and Alakazam are the team of the year for some stupid reason. They seriously had my number, and I lost to these 2 again. So one more rare candy, level 55, learning agility. This boosts my speed, and allows me to use the badge boost glitch. I really wanted to avoid level 55, since that's what I had to do with Articuno to really win that one, but the time advantage that Zapdos has is reason enough for me to realize that it's far better than the Ice Bird. At level 55, Sandslash still hit hard, but I used agility 3 times to raise speed, and every other stat while I was at it. I was at half health on Alakazam, but I was faster now. I got Recover, took a Psybeam like a champ, and then Drill Pecked it down. Executor actually survived one Drill Peck. I have no clue. This doesn't make any sense. Honestly, it's kind of funny if you ask me. And I got a nice critical Thunderbolt on Cloyster. I know for sure I didn't need the crit here, but I hate Cloyster so much. This was nice. One Drill Peck didn't take out Ninetales, and I got locked into its Fire Spin for 5 turns, naturally. Luckily, it didn't really do much damage. It did confuse me for 1 turn, but Zapdos broke through the confusion like a champ and took it down. And even though Drill Peck didn't do too much to Jolteon, it only used Quick Attack. Final Pokemon of the run, the one that I believe is one of the toughest to battle in the entire game, and because of Gen 1 AI, it could only use Quick Attack. Victory secured. Zapdos is so good. It's definitely my favorite of the 3 birds. Compared to Articuno, it took 2 fewer levels and about 25 minutes of less real time to beat the game with Zapdos. That's unreal. And I haven't watched any runs with Moltres in full, but I've seen other people talk about it. And y'all, we're gonna be in a treat for that one. But for now, let's enjoy the goodness that Zapdos brought to us. Oh crap, I didn't make any Twitch Plays Pokemon references with Zapdos this entire video. As always, seriously, thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like, comment, talk with me, subscribe to see more videos. Have a great day, make good choices, and until next time, see you later.